What's up, everyone? Welcome into the challenge episode. We're talking about episode 7, Die Another J. I've got Jenna in the house tonight. Jenna, how are you?
Mm. I'm good. I didn't know that that was the title of the episode. That makes me sad. Die Another J? That was really, not subtle at all. They just
And
dove right into it.
you nailed it, Jenna. Luckily, I did not look at the title when I jumped onto my AT&T to watch it. But that totally, in theory, gives away who goes home. But there's just so much to talk about tonight. It was convoluted with a ton of drama, and let's just hop right into it.
Yeah, this is a jam-packed episode other than that, 45 seconds to a minute and a half of the helicopter just that we're like that in these recent seasons where they're just like really getting into the special effects and it's just like, oh, we're going to introduce the challenge, but it's going to take 2 minutes and you're just going to watch our props. But they had to get their use out of it because we saw what happened during the challenge. So this was the helicopter's moment. So they made sure the helicopter got its fame that it needed to get. Overall thoughts was Elimination was insane, like ridiculous. The producers were probably like, shit, we were not expecting that. Challenge was awesome, for many reasons. I'm glad that TJ finally decided to scorn his children for the first time. We got his first like berating of his kids, and it was so worth it. And the other thing is that the vibe of this season, which has kind of happened in recent years, the one thing that's ticking me off a little bit is that it's feeling more and more like a popularity contest. And I love that everybody's having fun and like the fights are jokey and playful. But when it comes to people who are actually trying to play the game, it really just seems like the friends and the units are sticking together and it's becoming just a popularity contest.
Yeah.
But we'll get into
and
that.
and it's also just like, so you backstab me, now I'm gonna backstab you in this. Where are the hookups this season? I'm super upset. I'm always down for a good hookup, and we haven't got any yet. Supposedly Fessy hooks up with Gabby. We haven't seen that yet. And if they're the only ones that hook up all season, I'm super upset because Cam and Leroy, they're not hooking up, they're already together. I want to see some new people get together. Who are these new mates? I want to see them. And no, like Kyle's in a serious relationship now. Isn't Corey seeing somebody? Like no one's available. No one wants to hook up with Josh. Like it just sucks. I want to hook up, Jenna, and I'm a little.
People are being too honorable this season. They're staying committed to their
Oh,
at-home
how
relationship.
how dare they?
It's funny. I watched a show with 3 other people tonight, and everybody said the same thing. They were like, "It's episode 7, and no one's made out with each other yet."
No, I don't know. I'm kind of just sick of like. So let's start from the beginning. Everyone's mad.
Okay.
I'm mad at Theresa. I'm mad at Jay. And Jay's like, I'm not going to apologize to any of y'all. But then he goes and apologizes to everybody. And Cam's really upset. But in theory, Cam, you got a red skull. So why don't you just say thank you and just move on with your life and get him back later? Like, who cares? I didn't care for it. I'm over it.
Yeah, I have a lot of mixed feelings on that. I'm with you where it's like, okay, at the end of the day, it seems like Teresa did something that benefits you in your game because now you have a gold skull. However, when everybody wins, and I would probably do this, I think everybody would do this unless you have a really good way to like control your inner ego. But if you just win something, you're gonna come back and be like, yeah, fuck everyone. Like you feel like a hero, you feel untouchable. So if you're pissed off about something and you just won your gold skull, you're gonna have adrenaline, you're gonna come back into the house shit talking and being like, I'm gonna fire off all of you. So I get that. I also see I have mixed feelings on Leroy because I think Leroy is usually the coolest, he's the chillest, the most complacent guy. So the fact that he was kind of like getting in Jay's face, I could see that annoying people, but I also kind of feel like, well, he's usually so chill with handling everything. And this was his girlfriend that got thrown in. So it's kind of that he wants to defend her in a way. And sometimes you just get bothered to the point where you just have something to say? So it's kind of like, all right, I'll let Leroy talk his shit a little bit. And I can understand that. But it does seem a little bit like maybe just let it lie because she did get her gold skull.
I know. And then you got crying Corey. Corey was all upset. And then even CT in the other room to Theresa is like, who's crying in there? Like, what's the problem now? And then of course Theresa, this is the next part that really bothered me, is Theresa just has a nice conversation with CT trying to say, hey, maybe we should go after, it's a guy's elimination tonight. Maybe we should go after a big dog like Darrell and get rid of him. You hear this? This is LA. This is where
You're
I
not
live.
on the lake anymore.
Not-
He's not on a lake anymore. Also, I'm sure everybody realizes you have a fucking dumbbell or barbell in the back of your shot that you're trying to keep subtle. Humble brag, he works out.
Trying to do a podcast in here. Come on. Anyways, so yeah, so I just like I like the idea of them going after Jarrell tonight, but CT either totally backed out or just what he's doing, and I don't like it, is he just listens to what everyone says and then doesn't follow through with anything, and just it's kind of a dick move, really, because he brought up it a lot too, like with her. Like it wasn't all Theresa saying, "Oh, I want to get Jarrell out." He was definitely egging her on and getting her going. So I hated that scene because I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
really cool," but whatever.
Yes. We'll see with Teresa in the middle of the episode. She has a really bad showing and she has a really bad display of herself. I think she's tipsy. I think she's desperate now. She's feeling lonely. She's feeling the house is against her. So I can't justify her kind of drunken actions. The way she came at Amber B was super foul. Teresa wasn't in the right place in the middle of the episode. She just it came off that it was not looking good for her. Like, okay, this is obvious now that you are like walking around stirring the pot in the house. But in her defense, I do feel like her and Jay are the only people that are really trying to play the game. Like
No.
they're making these alliances and also fake alliances. She's trying to strategize. She tried to strategize at the challenge. She's trying to talk to another vet CT and just throw names out there. I feel like she's just trying to play, and everybody else is just staying with their friends and are being too scared to make risky moves. And it's annoying. So it kind of sucks that like the whole house is against Jay and Teresa just because they're making moves.
Yeah, I wish Teresa wouldn't get so upset by it because it's a game. Like if you're gonna go in and be that person that wants to make all these secretive moves and get some big people up, like don't cry about it. Like be that Devin type character who's just go for it. Piss some people off. Make good television. It's what we all want to see, you know. And then she got all upset about it. It's like no, I don't want to see that in this regard. I want you to like go after people like you were doing. Like don't
Yeah,
let them get all don't let them get you all upset and riled up. But
it's better
yeah,
to own it and you have to have
yeah,
confidence in your decisions, but that's so much easier said than done. And
yeah.
I think defense, like everyone's making her feel like she's a total bitch for it. Like I feel like the way the other girls and guys in the house are making Teresa, you're crazy or she's a nasty bitch. And it's like the middle of the episode, she was dead wrong. Like she was really going around and like causing the wrong problems. She looked foolish. But other than that, I mean, it led to that point. So I think beforehand, they didn't really need to like throw all their anger at Teresa just because she's not on your team. Yeah. She knows at the end of the day, none of you guys are calling her over the summer, wishing her a happy birthday. She has a husband and kids at home. Like she doesn't need to be best friends with you guys. She needs to play the game. And that's what she was
Yeah,
doing. But
everyone's in this for numero uno. They're in this for themselves. And like
yeah.
Cam, she got you your gold skull. Yes, you can be a little upset, but I would have loved to see Cam also say, "Hey, I hate that you did this to me, but thanks for the gold skull." Like a little funny joke or something in there would have been nice. All right, let's get into the challenge of the evening called Aerial Takedown. Yeah, it was like King of the Hill with a twist. They've been doing that a lot this season with a twist. Basically, they hold on to a big sack of balls up in the air. Yeah, up in the air. And it honestly, when I saw this, I was like, this is going to be the best challenge ever. And it so was not, Jenna B. And I'm super upset about it.
Jenna B on Team
Yeah.
Amber B during this challenge while we're on the B initials. Completely agree. So I don't know if you do this. I think a lot of people do this, but I tend to black out when TJ goes through the instructions of the game. So I only just get ever so slight what the premise of the game is. So I turned to everybody I was watching with. I was like, wait, so what's happening here? They're like, yeah, you basically just have to hold on to dear life to this ball, or you could try to kick people off last man standing. I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. Like that's literally it. This is great. The first heat we saw the girls go. Girls were incredible. Anissa first went down, just plopped right into the water, kind of sad but funny. Cam was really funny because she was going in after everybody. Big T fell quickly after, which was not a giant shock.
Yep.
But then it was Cam and CT doing a little wrestling, and Cam fell out first. And I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
And then it was or I'm sorry, Casey and Nani, and I was so pulling for Nani just because it's kind of like, come on, Nani, like get your mojo back, like have your shining moment. It's been too long. Like she's still a fierce competitor, but she's not the same. Sadly, don't hate me, Nani, but she's not the same Nani she once was. So I was like, come on, Nani, let's go. And then they show you the preview of someone just getting like completely catapulted off the bag. And I was like, okay, yeah, there's no way that Nani did that to Casey.
Yeah. So before Heat 2, which was the guys, I was like, oh my God, the girls are flying off this thing. When you get like a big boy like Joss or Fessy flying off this thing, it's going to be the most incredible thing ever. And then we get to Heat number 2, and they literally just sit there and do nothing. And I'm super upset, but I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. We still have 2 more Heats. There's another guy, another girls. It'll be cool. There's someone will do something. But the guys sucked again, and the girls, obviously, they at least tried to do something up there. I get that you're scared, but I don't. Why are they so afraid to fall into the water? They have a big old life jacket on. They have a thick wetsuit. You're not getting cold in the water with that thing. It just doesn't work that way. And you know how I know, Jenna?
Lake boy.
Grew up on a lake. You don't get cold. It's fine to be in the water for 5 minutes with that thing on. You're not even gonna feel the water. It's ridiculous.
Okay, speak for yourself because I did not grow up on a lake. I grew up in a cul-de-sac, white suburbia, and I don't like cold water. Okay, it's freezing.
No one does. No one does, Jenna. But yeah.
But yeah, the guys, I don't get it. I don't get why none of them competed. I really don't.
Let's give Jay credit. Jay did try to compete. He was jumping because he's a climber, as we talk about every week. He's really into climbing. He was jumping like on the backs of people, trying to get people to, like Leroy. He was jumping all over Leroy, trying to get him off. So that was cool.
Yeah.
At least he tried. And I was like, man, if everyone tried to jump around, the key
The
is
only one I can get is the first guy Heat is Darrell, Devin, Fessy, Nam, and Kyle. And I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of big boys. And then Devin. So I get Devin being like, I'm gonna take the backseat on this one. That was actually wise of him because he has no shot in that.
right.
But I didn't understand. Like, so the people I was watching with was saying, okay, maybe the guys weren't trying to piss each other off because it's a guy elimination day and they don't want to have the target on the backs. And I'm like, okay, but like this is a challenge. I don't know.
And if you win, you can choose if you want to go into that elimination or not if you win. But the issue with this game is that they know if their female counterpart wins, then they're safe as well. So there's not a whole lot riding on it in theory, unless they want to win it for themselves. The girl could have won it for them. So if you're Jay, and Jay was trying too, even though Theresa won and had a chance to have the best time, Jay still was up there trying his ass off instead of like, I can just sit here. Maybe Theresa won it for me.
Yeah. Jay gives no fucks about this stuff. Like I feel like he just has a lust for life and is a total adrenaline junkie. And you could tell he was just having so much fun. Like I don't care. I don't think he cared when and if he fell off, other than the fact that that would mean he would lose the challenge. But you could see him strapped on Leroy's back, like climbing over him, tongue out of his mouth, having so much fun with this. The second heat, I almost was kind of like, all right, well, CT's definitely going to win this if any of them tried, right? Like he's just a massive log on this ball sack, for lack of better terms. Like there's no way they would all need to jump on CT to get him off of that.
This game was definitely flawed, Jenna, for sure, because no one's getting CT. I mean, CT has enough upper body strength to hold on for whatever the amount of time was that they were up there for. So what's the point of going after him in a way? But I still wanted them to try because I wanted to see some bodies flying off. We want entertainment as consumers of the challenge every week. We didn't want to see some lumpy balls for just hanging out.
Your consumers, treat your clients well.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because I have some thoughts on this about Theresa strategizing with the rookies.
I mean, it's not a bad idea, but of course it pissed off everybody as always. I mean, it's a thought that you can obviously have cross into your mind, but she decided to be verbal about it and see if she could get some people to agree with her. And if everyone had agreed with her, that whole group, there would be no issues. But of course, she needed to keep her mouth shut though, because of what happened last week. She already made a lot of people upset with her. And now by doing this, no matter if she's right or wrong about it, or, hey, look, we can help save somebody, it's going to piss more people off. And that's what it did.
Okay, so you think because she's in the doghouse, people just have this perception of her that like no matter what she does, even if it might be smart, because my whole thing was like, I was annoyed that people were annoyed by this. This felt like textbook challenge. This was like one of the oldest tricks in the book. And I have a memory of this one challenge. I cannot remember the season. I want to say Inferno or Gauntlet, when it was guys and girls day and the guys had to jump into ice baths. And the guys completely threw the challenge because they didn't care because it was a girls' elimination day. And I'm like, people have been manipulating the outcomes of the challenge as long as they can be. and wisely so. Like, that's part of the game. You want to win, you want to protect whoever. So if you can strategize to work together, whether that's throwing the challenge, manipulating the challenge, like that has been done many a times before. So it kind of pissed me off that people weren't buying it, or that I'm sorry, that people weren't going for it. But that being said, I don't blame Amber B for fighting tooth and nail at the very end of it, fighting for her team, fighting for her partner. Because when it comes down to one on one, hell yeah, take care of yourself and win that challenge. I just didn't like that everybody thought it was an asinine idea by Theresa, or Theresa was some evil, plotting villain of the challenge just because she was trying to strategize. Like, everyone has always done this on the challenge.
No, it was a fine idea. It's just that she had the bad rep from last week, and she had another idea, and it wasn't the right time for that idea. You know.
Yeah, and I was super disappointed with how Cam responded to Teresa trying to strategize and plan and plot during this challenge throughout the entire episode, because I really like and enjoy Cam, but I felt like the way she treated Teresa trying to strategize was so just wrong, because obviously she's mad at Teresa because Teresa threw her in, but the way she's bringing up like, you're trying to brainwash the rookies, you had this master plan, but it's like, Cam, this is kind of a plan that you would also have.
Well,
Like,
isn't
I felt like,
yeah, isn't Cam's other nickname Cam's Plan? Not just Kill a Cam, it's Cam's Plan, Cam's Plan. She always talks about that. She's just mad because someone's trying to beat her at her own game. Okay, Cam, it's fine. It's a well, I get that it's a ton of money. I think we also, because we're not in it for the money, because we're not, on the show, that we don't see. It's a ton of money, so I get people being upset because this is their paycheck, and if someone messes with your paycheck, you get upset. I work with kids outside
yeah.
the park. If it rains in LA, I don't get to work that day. The rain is messing with my paycheck. I totally get it.
Is it raining? It never
It's
rains
this
there.
week. It's raining in LA. It's going to rain the next couple
Yeah.
days. In case anyone,
Hence the honking.
what's that?
Hence the honking
Yeah,
outside. People are angry.
that out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Uh,
so Casey wins a heat and Teresa wins a heat, and it comes down to 1 second? Was it? That's insane. First of all, that could totally be BS too, right? They have
I
no
was thinking
we have no proof. Conspiracy, right?
it
Love
is
it.
so ridiculous. Just imagine, less of a conspiracy, more of, imagine if that was your job. If you were that associate producer who your job was to sit there and time all the challenges, what if you fuck up one day? What if you like hit the timer wrong? 1 second?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, it's just the like sincerity of it being 1 second that was
Don't believe it for a
the
second, Jenna.
breaking
I bet
point.
it was like
You don't
five.
believe it for 1 second?
I believe it was probably 5 to 10 seconds, and the one producer's there that, dude, just make it 1 second, because who
Yeah, right. It doesn't matter. They won,
doesn't
so
matter.
you can make it. Yeah.
We never know the real times, Jenna. They can say whatever the hell they want. We just have to like live with that. By the way, I have another conspiracy coming up later tonight when we get to the elimination, but that's a whole nother thing. All right.
Love it.
So yeah, the guy sucked, and I was so disappointed too, because I wanted to have a conversation with you about how I thought the girls weren't that great tonight. Because in the first heat, Anissa fell right off, and Big T fell right off, and then the guys get out there, and they're about 100 times worse than the girls, and I'm like, well, I can't use that point tonight because the guys were pathetic, and it was really disappointing.
Yeah.
Casey and Leroy win by a second. Now we get to the party tent. What did you think of the party tent? She goes into this is why it's so convoluted and messed up tonight. Theresa goes in there and she's like, Jarrell, I gotta talk to you. I didn't mean to say things. I wasn't trying to eliminate you, but yes, you were, Theresa. You were trying to eliminate him. But I know you have more thoughts on Theresa and how it was all messy. So you go.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier because that was like a prominent part to me, because in the beginning of the episode I was kind of rooting for her because she seemed to be strategizing and she was owning up to it being her plan, right? She stepped in and defended Jay against Leroy and was like, "Don't blame Jay. It was me. I was the mastermind behind this. I'm taking my shots. I'm going for the big people." But this was just not a good showing for her. Like, I can't defend her in these situations. She came at Amber B so wrong. Like, I don't understand what Amber B did wrong in this situation. She was fighting for her and her partner too, doing the same shit you did. I think it came out later on where Teresa looks a little bit better because now Teresa's realizing, oh, like CT was tattletaling and telling people. That's why people are a little bit woke to not even my plan, but an idea or a future strategy that Darrell is a big heavy hitter, which She shouldn't really go for Darrell though, because that's a vet, and they could probably like work together. You know, I feel like Darrell isn't
Yeah,
really super tight with a
unfortunately,
lot of the alliances.
but I don't think that they are friendly at all. Like I don't, you never see them talking. I don't really know much about the relationship between Teresa and Jarrell, but I don't see them. I don't mind her. I would have loved if she tried to go after him tonight, just because I like to see a vet go in. And honestly, everyone has to go in anyway, so I don't really get the whole why you're mad. I can't get over like Cam,
Yeah.
you got a gold skull. Cam, you got it. Like, move on with your life. It's fine. And now,
Yeah, you know what? I think that Teresa doesn't really have a lot of she doesn't have any friends in the house where it's like people always say, "I'm not here to make friends," and she doesn't really need to. She just needs to worry about her game. However, the politics and being friendly and acquainted with people is what, like 70% of this
yeah.
show,
I mean,
especially this season?
we all assume that Teresa's going in next week unless she wins, correct?
Right,
Right?
exactly. So that's the
Because
thing is like the reason you need friends is because there's strengths in numbers, and if people now realize, like, everyone or if enough people dislike you, then everybody will dislike you, and you're just gonna be the person plucked off every week.
Jenna, if I have to watch Anissa, Big T, and Amber M in a final, it's going to be the worst final ever. None of them are going to finish. They're all going to gas out, and it's going to be an awful final. Luckily, Big T and Amber M don't have gold skulls yet, so I don't have to. Is it gold skulls or red skulls? What the hell are we doing? I don't even know which color it is.
Gold, right?
Oh, I think it's
Actually,
red
I
was
don't
last
know.
year. But if I, oh God, because Anissa's not going to do anything in this final. There's no way Anissa does anything in this final, unfortunately, because there's no way the final is not running 20 miles. They're going to make them run.
We have to take it a step at a time, okay? We're not at the final yet. I know you're excited.
Are in theory, there's 6 skulls out and only 4 left now, correct? Yes.
I guess we're getting
So
close,
are
yeah.
we 5 episodes away from a final? This is episode
I
7. That means they only
I
filmed 12. Did they only film 12 episodes though, Jenna? I don't believe that. So I think there's going
I
to be
don't know. I
a
didn't even know what number yeah, I didn't even know what number episode this
this is
was.
episode 7. They've given out 6 skulls because Natalie went home and put her skull back into the pot. So what? We're supposed to believe there's only 4 episodes left and then a final. I don't believe it.
It's COVID. We're gonna get 20 episodes that are an hour and a half long each.
Well, there you go. I could have done with only an hour of tonight's episode, by the way, of just like all the walking around in the house and talking. But okay, so hold on. Let's get to Devin. This is good.
Yes.
Devin
Yes.
at the party is like at the tent party, goes up to Fessy and is like, hey man, I don't want you to win. Oh, and that for some reason, Fessy's dumb. He's just not a smart human being. He doesn't know how to verbalize his words, and Devin does, and it's hilarious because he doesn't. And then he teams up with Josh, Jenna, another person who doesn't know how to talk.
Okay. I like Devin for the most part. I
Okay,
feel as though Devin is somebody who, if you're in a house with him, you just have to be his friend or else he's going to drive you in fucking
crazy.
insane.
Yep.
Like, not even, oh, don't let him under your skin. Like, don't let him bother you. No, like, you have to actually be his friend. Like, you have to like him or you are going to just, your life is going to be a living hell. And the reason I said it, I like it for the most part is because in this situation, I almost just wanted him to get cracked in the face. I
Yep.
almost was like, "All right, Devin, or all right, Fessy, just punch him. Just punch him," because I wanted Fessy to just own being the villain. You know, you kind of can't be both. And he said in
And
the beginning of the episode, he's like socially anxious and he has a tough time getting out of his shell, and that's probably definitely true because I don't know how to read him. Like every time we see him, he has kind of the same blank face on. Today, in the fight, he was actually smiling and laughing. So this was pretty enjoyable and playful to watch. But I just wanted him to own being the villain. I'm like, Fessy, everyone hates you and you're strong and you're big. You might as well just own that shit and be like, fine, I am gonna be the villain then. So I was like, just pop him in the face. But then he would go home, so it would be irrelevant. But I thought it'd be a fun twist.
and then of course, Josh gets in the middle and pulls Fessy away, and he's like a mediator for like 2 seconds until he turns into a big baby and starts throwing food and water at Devin. Like, what is that? Why do people do these things? Why do people throw water bottles? Like, oh, water. And why do people spit on people? I can't stand either of it. If you want to go home, punch him in the face. I think if you throw water, I think that's a pussy move, and I think you should have to go home for that too. Because it's garbage. Why are we throwing water? I can't.
Yeah, I don't think Josh can control his emotions, but he knows he doesn't wanna go home, so he's like, "I gotta just, I gotta do something." Like, he's gonna go, like, hit his head into the wall, you know? He's like one of those guys that just needs to get anger out somehow.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I get Devin wanting to push people's buttons and stuff, but then he went and apologized during the deliberation, which I didn't believe. That was a BS apology. I don't believe that he meant any of it. I don't understand why he even apologized. And then even TJ before the elimination said he gave them all like a warning, like I don't want to see that again, like I saw last night. We've been seeing it for 36 years on the challenge. Wait, we're not allowed to argue anymore? This world, I'm telling you, is turning upside down. And some of it I'm all for, and some of it I'm like, wait, we can't even have a conversation where we argue. This is throwing me off. Why can't we get Fessy and Josh fired up? We're not allowed to do that anymore, Jen. I know it's
Yeah.
weird.
It does feel like TJ's stance was a little bit misplaced because it was just water and a push, like, Josh did put 2 hands on him and push him.
But I think he's talking more of the Devin thing. Like Devin, you're not allowed to say these, get people fired up. I thought he meant it like that's where I was coming. I'm like, wait, Devin can't stir the
Oh.
pot anymore? That's what
I
I'm
know, we'll have to call TJ. We'll have to have a
we
private
have Monty
conversation with
style.
our best friend.
But yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So that went down. It was interesting.
yeah, well, the reason Devin apologized because he didn't wanna go in, that's it, it's plain and simple, and he's a pretty good actor, like,
Which is
if
why I
you
don't
think
think which is why I know he didn't mean it, which is yeah.
no, he didn't mean it, but he also, like, when he's a dick, he's truly out there and doing it, and then when he's apologizing, he also is really putting on that face, like, he is either a actor or he's authentic, whether he's being a dick or being nice. But that's I had that thought earlier in the episode because he was giving, like, someone a sly, judgy look, and I was like, "Devin could be annoying, but he is just always his damn self." I mean, he is just always being himself, so you have to almost just
I know.
take that for what it is.
All right, so deliberation happens, and I don't know. I wrote down, don't you think if Theresa had the opportunity, if she had won tonight, she would have done what she wanted to, and that is vote Darrell in, like once they got to the elimination? Because now she's backtracking. This is before CT even talks. She backtracks. Oh, I didn't say anything. And then she finally goes, oh no, but I talked about it one time with CT. And then CT just lies his ass off. And
Yeah, yeah.
it actually kind of pissed me off. I totally understand why he did it. He does not want to be on
Mhm.
Jarrell's bad side. He admits that Jarrell is the fiercest competitor ever, except we all have our weaknesses. And apparently, if there's a final with anything with heights in it, Jarrell is screwed. He
Yeah.
made that very clear. And water, I think, too, for Jarrell. But yeah, CT totally pusses out. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What?
I just had to be like an audience member and a passenger and watching this unfold because I wanted to be so mad at CT, but I'm also like, shit, he's CT.
I
And
know.
he's kind of doing what everyone you need to do. You need to pretend and put yourself first. But like, damn, dude, you are lying through your teeth. Like,
Yes.
come on,
I
man.
honestly was
You are
hoping.
shady.
I know he's so just as shady as Theresa, and I was really hoping that he would like make a move finally. I'm like, wow, CT's not going to sit on the fence. CT's going to try to rally people,
Yeah.
get people to vote Darrell in tonight for the guys' elimination. This is awesome. But no, he's sitting on the fence like classic CT, and we still all love him. I mean, but it's still
And it
pissed me
and
off
it
tonight.
just made me love Anissa more, and I was just saying, like, I just want Anissa to be my friend and come over and have drinks with me because I love when she pops up and she's like, I know CT is a snake too." And I was like, "Yes, thank God for her because everyone else is rookies
Well, but
or
here's the thing,
everyone."
though, Jenna. That was during a confessional. Wouldn't it have been awesome if Anissa said he's a snake in the deliberation area? Come on,
Could
Anissa.
could you imagine if she did though? Talk about like she
Awesome. It would be
already
so good. Oh, they're all too friendly now. There's too many friends. They have too many friends there. Like she's too old school. But that's why they keep bringing in new people,
no.
hopefully
Well,
create all the controversy. But they're
yeah, well,
rookies.
that would be just plain dumb of her to now like start calling someone else. Sometimes you just need to lie low. Like
So
that's where
sorry. Go
oh
on.
that's where Teresa was smart at the beginning of the episode because she said something like what feels like a year in the challenge only lasts like one night or something. I can't remember the exact phrase she used, but she was so right. You just have to be patient. Tomorrow they're going to find somebody else to pick on. But then she didn't do that at the club scene.
I know.
She
That's
then put the attention on herself. Yeah. So
so
sometimes you gotta just
yeah.
stay
So
out.
as you know, I've been giving the rookie girls and Big T and Anissa a lot of crap this season. But I want to bring up someone new tonight for you, Jenna. An awful
Okay.
challenger that is still on this season and does not deserve to be here.
Wait, can I guess?
You can sure guess. You're gonna guess it. It's a guy. Obviously, I'm switching genders now, and he is an awful competitor. He does not deserve to be here. He's
Oh,
skating.
Michi.
He is awful. He will never
But
get
he's
invited back.
so happy.
I don't care. He'll never get invited back again, Jenna. He's awful. He was awful.
He's
at the
so
challenge.
cute though.
He doesn't do anything. He literally doesn't do anything. There's no way he gets invited back.
Yeah.
He's just as bad as and he's skating by. And if he's in a final, he's not gonna know what hit him. He's every time there's a challenge when they get his like verbiage on the on the side notes there, he's like, oh my god, oh there's a helicopter, this is insane. I'm like, dude, you've never watched a challenge. It's every freaking episode. But he's awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't really have the strongest confessionals either. That's very true. He has like your classic TV soundbite where he's just like, "This is wild."
Yeah, he's like, whoa, we're gonna go to cold water tonight. This is insane. I'm like, dude, enough of you. I'm done.
But this is a weird season for that reason, right? Because all of the rookies are just riding, and that never happens. Like it's always the way the format always goes is let's just pick off the rookies one by one. It's easy. We won't piss anybody off. We'll win eliminations, whatever the argument is. And now no one feels like doing that this year when that is just always how the script goes.
And I wonder if it's because of the gold skulls, but I don't think it is. But I kind of like the fact that if none of them have gold skulls, TJ straight up said you cannot be in this final. So yeah, great job, rookies. You got your weekly paycheck. You made it all the way to the season or episode 12, 13, whatever it's going to be, and now you just get to go home. So great, you got your face time. Maybe you'll become famous from this, but probably not. You're not on this show at least. So it's interesting. It's mostly, you're right, it's mostly vets going in every week. Even Jay, it's his second season, and he went against a huge vet tonight in Leroy. So, all right, so what's that?
No, I was going to say yes. Shall we talk about the elimination?
Yes, so let's get into the elimination crater thing. Here's my conspiracy theory. I think that the producers knew that it was Jay already. And so they decided to give him a climbing type of challenge because Jay is he's a new kid on the block, but he is a fan favorite, and we shall not forget this. People love him. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't like him because some people like some people and don't like other people. Everyone loves Jay. I'm convinced of this. So they gave him a climbing challenge thinking he'll be really good at it, and it'll give a better opportunity for him to come back next week. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's definitely not a bad conspiracy. I can totally see that because we've already seen this elimination before, and sometimes that does happen, but I feel like that doesn't happen that quickly unless they're just going to recycle like the same 5 eliminations like they do in the duel or something. But if we never see this elimination again, then it'll be kind of like, okay, we know Jay is really good at hanging. He's a rock climber. He has strong shoulders. He lasted longer than that. That one guy, I can't remember his name in the hanging elimination. Yeah,
long hair. Who will also never be on the challenge again. But he was on like one. That kid was on like all these other shows too. His name was like Afro or something. What was his name?
Dan. He was an after buzzer.
Good.
I met him. He's
what's his name? Yeah, what's his name then? You met him? What's his name?
Oh my god, you're right. I can't remember.
His name's like I don't know the kid.
It's okay.
But
anyway. Shout out all love.
Yes.
All love.
All love.
But that's not a bad take. I could see that. This was hard to root for because I'm always pulling for Jay, but Leroy is like my number one forever. Like he is my heart. So obviously it's like, come on, Lee, get that money this season. You need to win this.
You want to know what was hot garbage tonight, Jenna?
The twist that was great, but also anticlimactic.
That twist was the biggest piece of hot garbage because we already knew from what Leroy and Casey saw that if everyone got their votes in, that it was going to be Jay and Theresa. So with TJ announcing that the guy votes don't count, if that doesn't change that vote from Jay and Theresa to whoever else, Devin, I guess, whoever else was high up on the numbers, then who gives an F? I don't give a rip, Jenna. This episode pissed me off tonight, Jenna.
Wait, what does give a rip mean?
I don't give a rip. I don't give a crap. I don't give a
rip, like rip or like rip?
I don't
Like,
even
what
know
are we
context, but give a
ripping?
rip. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I give a rip,
I
man.
love it. I don't give a rip, man.
That's a real. I swear
Uh,
that's a real terminology that I've heard people use in the past. I didn't just make it up.
that's awesome. Love it.
Anyway, so yeah,
I actually loved that twist because it was like, yeah, fuck you guys. Like, come on, this is lame. You're here to compete. You're all macho, man. You're all like fucking
and,
300 pounds.
and I
Like,
would
you couldn't
love
have done anything.
I would have loved it too, Jenna, if it changed who had to go in tonight. Because that is
Well, at
awesome.
least it
That
changed
means
the
because then that would have really proved to these guys they have to work their asses off in a regular challenge. Now it's like I slap you on the wrist, but you can still do whatever the hell you want again because it didn't affect the outcome. That's my point.
yeah. I think it changed the mindset and it just further calls them out, further exposes them for just being weak ass competitors.
They were the men sucked tonight. Not like only I could say Jay was good because Jay did try up there. I saw him jumping around.
Yeah.
He was jumping around. He was having a
Yeah. This elimination
I know. Let's do it.
was ridiculous. Leroy!
I
Holy shit!
I love when I get so into it. Like I could my eyes would not leave that screen, Jenna. I was so like, oh my, I didn't want to blink because and I was trying to see because they were doing all these crazy cuts to make it more dramatic. It literally, like TJ said, what did it last? 15
A
seconds.
minute?
Super quick.
Under a minute.
Under a minute, but they made it seem like it lasted 2 minutes with all the different cuts they were doing. They kept showing Leroy at the end not being able to make it over that final hump. He probably did this like twice, but Kevin kept doing like 3 or 4 times where we really probably did twice, and then he went over.
Yeah.
I honestly, crazy thought here. I was rooting for Jay, even though I knew it was Leroy's last time I'd ever see him on the challenge. I'm still rooting for Jay. What does that tell?
Mm,
What does that say? I just love Jay
that
so
you're
that
a
much.
J stan.
I'm into
You
Jay. I'm into him. I love
yeah.
him as a competitor. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was hard. This was really hard. I found myself doing that too, but I was like, I have to go with Leroy, because Jay can come back. He'll be back. Although
Well,
I
Leroy
feel
could
like
come back. He just doesn't want to. He's got his barbershop now.
true,
He's killing it. So good for him. Yeah.
but it was like it looked like a competition at first, but it really was no competition.
Not on the
Like,
way back.
talk about
Leroy,
rips. Leroy ripped through that. He gave a rip,
he
one
gave a
very quick one. He gave a quick rip.
And you
That
know
was
what they
awesome.
added? They added a couple more spikes to it to make it harder for the guys. The girls
Yeah.
had the girl elimination in the first episode of the season with I think it was Natalie versus Ashley had just one little curve. This one had the curve and then two bumpies at the end to make it a little more challenging for the men.
They did have two added bumpies.
Bumpies,
Uh,
another professional term used in
yes,
rock climbing or whatever that.
yes. Also, side note, Cam and Leroy so cute.
Oh,
When Cam was, the whole thing was kind of like okay, but then after, and she's like making all the noises to
well,
him when he's down there.
he's
So
like,
cute,
hey babe, did you see how fast I was?
babe.
Babe, see
Oh,
how
it's
fast I was?
so
He's like, yeah, I
cute.
did, and I love when she did the shoulder. I'm so
I
see,
know.
I want romance on this show. Like this is all I have.
Mm.
Like I want new hookups. It's come on.
I no, I love Cam and Leroy so much because this was like a long time coming that they're finally together because we saw like little traces of their romance building and they were flirting and then they weren't together anymore and now they are. And I'm just like, thank God they were meant to be together.
Yeah, yeah.
They
It's
were-
definitely it's
yeah.
definitely nice to see. And they're supposedly living in Texas now together, correct?
Yeah, congrats to Leroy too. He opened up a barber shop. I wonder if he did that with some winnings.
Ooh, well, I don't do
Ooh.
spoilers, so I don't know who wins this season. And don't tell us in the comments, or I'll
I
be
don't either, but opening up a business can't be cheap.
no, it can't. He's also been on the challenge, what, 12 times, 13 times before this. So I think
I
they made some money off that, but at the same time, yeah. So that's all I had for tonight's episode. Give me some more thoughts that you had,
Mm,
Miss Jenna.
I don't know if I do. Okay, so what do we think is going to happen with Corey and Theresa now that Corey is with Theresa and he is losing partners left and right?
Yeah.
Do you think that he'll be with Theresa for long? And if so, like what will happen to his game?
I think that Teresa's going to have to sit his ass down and say, look, I'm going in next week. We need to win this daily challenge or I'm screwed. And it's going to be up to Corey if he even gives a rip because because
Oh my
I don't want to keep saying that. I don't want that to become like my terminology that I use all the time.
it's you, Lake Dan.
Like Dan. I don't want oh my god, lost my train of thought because of the rip thing. I don't want something to happen.
Because he's ripped out of his mind. That's why he's ripped
Yeah.
right now.
Well, it's gonna come down to if they don't win, Teresa's going in because it is a girls' elimination supposedly next week.
Yes, I actually think so. Right now, it seems like Teresa's storyline is the most interesting because she's probably definitely going to go in next week. Probably, definitely. That works. That's fun.
Yeah.
And if she does, it'll be interesting to see against who because there's only so many people left. I mean, will she get a say in this? Will they put somebody really tough in against her? Will they put somebody easy? Because who's really the best
Okay,
that's left
that's
now?
let's talk about
Lolo?
that. Let's talk about that. Yeah, who's left that doesn't have a gold skull for the females? That's tough. Lolo, who by the way also sucked in tonight's challenge, she popped right off that thing. I don't think she fought anybody.
But was she in cahoots with Teresa? Was she a part of the grand
Oh yeah, 'cause she can
plan?
talk. Yeah, well they didn't never talked about it. So maybe Lola will come
Right.
up onto Twitter tonight or one of her. She'll go live on Instagram and be like, "Oh, I did it." She could save her face and say, "No, I just jumped off because I wanted Teresa to win." Who knows? But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Lolo would be someone because Cam's not going to want to go back in.
right. She's
I
not
think
going back in.
I think
Anissa already
Teresa
has a skull.
I think Teresa could beat Nani. I think Teresa could beat Big T, Amber M, Amber B. We don't know anything about these people yet. So
I have high hopes for Amber B. I hope she does well. She's also my fantasy team, so
fantasy team.
so I need her to pull through.
What's interesting is she's with such a powerful, character like a Darrell who's just so good at challenges, and both their storylines they haven't had one yet, so they're due. I don't know. Darrell hasn't
Yeah,
done anything this season. He just kind of just doing his thing, getting to the final. But he has. I don't know if I've heard Darrell say more than 3 or 4 sentences. I haven't. Where's his storyline? Not there.
yes. It's a good sign if you're a Darrell fan that he is lying low. Again, sometimes the best thing to be is almost like invisible, so that way people don't think about throwing you into elimination.
I know,
So for
but
him going to a final, sorry,
it doesn't make for good screen time though. Like we want to
no,
see that.
no,
I like Darrell a lot. I've always liked Darrell. I mean, he's never lost like a challenge a final.
yeah.
Is what I think CT said tonight. I know he won 4 in a row at one point. He's insane.
His like little comedic parts. I mean, he was in the thing with Teresa today. Teresa was supposedly calling him out, so he gave some lip back, and he also says some
But
like,
but
"Yeah, I like combat, but not when I'm hanging over cold water."
okay, fair enough. But if Teresa never came to him with the knowledge, like, hey, I wanted to throw you in, Teresa gave him a storyline. He wasn't even trying to get one. So someone came after him and luckily got a storyline. He didn't have one.
Add to his experience, he doesn't need to try to get one. But I know what you're saying. I feel you. Um, but the thing with Darrell, the thing I want to see with him is competition because that's always what's been Darrell's biggest, most awesome thing is just kick-ass competitor. But these challenges haven't really been like very hands-on, and that's when I have like a love-hate with the partnership sometimes because the partner competitions can be good, but then you're also not really like seeing people in their best form really like going at it or really doing anything super competitive because they have to do janky partner games.
Yeah,
Like the holding, it was good, like holding somebody up, yes, but now it's becoming like week after week of the same sort of thing. And it's like, let's switch it up. Like let them go like rogue almost.
I think the producers thought tonight for sure was going to be just an awesome, daily challenge, and it totally backfired on them. I think they underestimated the fact that you have to you. It's hard to rip. They're holding on to netting to get someone off of netting. It's nearly impossible. Like there's no. It's really hard to do, especially when you're not balanced and you're flying around on testicles. Like there's no it's hard. I don't know.
One giant test.
One giant sack of testicles. Yes, I don't know. It's just anyways, yeah, very disappointed in the daily challenge. I thought it was gonna be the tits, and I was mistaken.
Yeah, this was the one to get the guys rubbing all up on each other, and they didn't feel like it today.
Apparently not. Oh,
Sometimes you're just not in the mood, you
a bit of
know?
news for you, Jenna, and for everyone listening. And please comment in the section below throughout the week because we love to hear.
If they are, yes, if they are still listening, because as you will notice this time, they're longer than 40 minutes because we bought the real Zoom. So thanks everybody.
Yep, we got the real. We dug deep into our pockets for $15 a month, and we now have Pro. So we are just we're on the go now. We're on the go with the Pro. So, anyways, the news I wanted to bring up before we get out of here is that they are going to start filming the OG season, and they also
They are?
started releasing some of the cast. It's not official yet, but there's all these speculation on who's going to be there. They're all in quarantine right now, Jenna. So they have extras in quarantine with the cast in case some of the cast tests positive. And there you go. So
Yes, I'm so excited. So, do you know when it's supposed to air?
this summer 2021.
And on Netflix or on a streaming
I think
service?
it's MTV. I think it's MTV.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You
Hell
know
yes.
what, Jenna?
I'm so excited.
I would love if it was on Netflix. So I could just bang that out
But-
in a week, not even less than a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's really exciting. Yeah, that's good news.
I'm good if you're good. We can get out of here.
I'm great.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a blast. Yes, we can just talk forever and ever now. I'm happy with the pro. The pro is fantastic.
Yeah.
This has been episode 7, Die Another J. My name is Daniel Lindgren. This is Jenna over here. Jenna, thank you so much for joining
Thank you.
As always, you are a great co-host.
Guys, I love
Are you
all of
missing
your
Christmas?
comments.
Is this you missing Christmas
I
with antlers?
always, always miss Christmas. But yeah, everyone's comments have been awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, seriously, let's go for the record, guys. I think our record's like 100. Let's get 105 and get crazy.
Thanks for watching us.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.